Alright, so what we're going to be doing today is installing one of these fun little two-step watt box jobs, except we're not going to deal with this mess. We're just getting rid of that. Instead, I got one of these right here. This is one of the short watt box Kinetic Creations plug and play wiring harness. All right. Now it also came with I ordered this separate. This is a blue, it said blue shift light. Not really sure how they work, but we'll figure that out too. So anyway, you have your plug and play harness. This one here actually goes inside. All right, and then you run, these wires here have to run inside the car, and then this goes in between here and here, and that's down at your clutch pedal. All right, not sure exactly. I do know where they plug in, but how to run this, okay? Now this will plug into the big harness, which is right by your brake booster. I believe this one here, yep, this one says cam sensor. It's labeled. This one will come over to your throttle position control sensor, all right? Kind of like, just, you know, goes in circuit, like that. Real easy. The challenging part is going to be getting this down through. If you watch my other video, I fed my wires down through, so hopefully there's enough room and I can do something very similar with this one. Got so much going on right now underneath this engine bay. We can start with the part that's furthest away, which is going to be your TPS sensor, which is located right down here. So I do have some extra things on this car that normally aren't here. So if this was stock, you would have to, it would be easiest if you removed your air intake tube and your battery and stuff out of the way. Right now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this out of the way. It's going to make it a little bit easier for me to reach right down in here to my throttle position control sensor. And then when I get this off, we'll come right back. Alright, I have my catch can out of the way. If you look down here, here's your throttle body. You can see the white plug here. That's where your throttle position control sensor is, your TPS. This one is your idle air. This is an aftermarket hard pipe right here, okay? So a stock car won't have that. So that might be, might add a couple things into the way. So basically you just unplug this. Sorry about some of the tripod noise. I'll try to cut some of that out. Now, if you look at this, this has one plug like that. It's made to go into here. Okay. Then the other end, just plug right into the throttle position control sensor. Alright. Ta-da! Alright, now I have all of this just kind of laying here. I want to run this up underneath all these vacuum lines. Would have been easier to come the other way, but this is just what we got right now. Okay, so we have that. That can just kind of like lay there. Now, the next stop on this tour is going to be our cam sensor. All right. Now, the cam sensor, all this stuff out of the way. Cam sensor is located right here on the side of the head. It does have a red locking clip. Make sure this is coming in on you. All right. Right there is going to be your cam sensor. Basically, you know, you take a flathead screwdriver, you want to push this out. this little locking clip. Might be able to get it with your fingernail. That'll unplug just like that. And this, if you look, has a plug on the one side, looks just like what you have, and then the other one actually plugs into this. Okay. You can do your lock clip. Alright. Okay. Now, just gonna feed that down behind here some. Alright, let me get this one up on. Alright, plugged right in. Okay. Now, we have both of those, and they're taken care of. Now, you have to make sure that you have this stuff down in here behind everything, so you can get your air intake tube or your aftermarket air cleaner. You might have a small battery with the tray turn, or even a relocated battery all the way to the back of the car. So the next one that you got to come to is this one, this big plug here. It's been a while since this one's been apart. There we go. Right. Now look, same, opposite. This one will go into that end. That end looks like that end, so it plugs in here. This just simplifies all the connections, because normally you would trim these two wires off of this, and then this just plugs right in. That's what this does. So, I mean, basically what you're doing is you're eliminating any bad connections, because this turns this into a really good connection for this. Let's see here. What's going to be the better way? Don't run this behind this vacuum on like that, and plug this in. Sure is a lot of plugs. Alright, here we go. Around, and then up here, okay? Like I said, this has to go down in underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out of the way, like I did when I installed my gauges, if you've watched that video. And that's just a 10 millimeter there. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get this catch can reinstalled over here, and then we'll come back and we'll get them wires fed down through. We have, right here is where the green wire goes, that hooks to your clutch pedal assembly. I've got that one taped back real nice. This is the part that actually plugs into the watt box, the longer part, the square plugs here. So we have them taped to an antenna. I'm going to pop you off here, I'm going to show you where we're going with them. Down in this corner over here, you can see where the grommet is. I actually have it notched right now, and I have other. I got some wiring for an AFR gauge, oil gauge is going through there. We also have a wire for an amp running through there also. Now, the plug for the watt box is actually quite large, so this is going to be a try and see type scenario, and hopefully we can get it down in there, which is why I spaced this back just a little bit, because if I can get that started down in, then maybe I can get this and give it a shove. Hopefully this works. Like I said, it's going to be a try and see thing here, so you can see where we're at. Alright, starting to push down in here. Okay, so I just got to keep working it in there. It is a really, really tight fit. So far everything looks good. You know, it's just got to push that wire over a little bit. And I mean, that harness, them harnesses are in there, they're pretty fixed. They're pretty tight, they don't move. You can almost tell if you grab hold of this. It's kind of really formed. If I could push back on that maybe and get it over a little bit, I might be able to get it up through. Alright, over here in the car. Right, now, where we're coming through, it's going to be up in here. Up in behind here, which I can't see. You might be able to see it through the camera now. But we're going to be coming through up in there. So, let's see if we can get it. Well, that worked there, guys. Check it out. We actually got it down in here. All right, so now I just got to untape everything, and then I got to feed this wire up through, and it'll come out over in here, and that's where the watt box will actually sit. So we have the clutch switch adapter right here, okay? And if you look at these pins, they're both different, okay? One's a flat blade and the other one's kind of, you know, got a hole in it. All right, if you look in these connectors, the one side here has like a flat blade and the other one will have like the hole connector. So what you need to do is you need to take this and shove it into here. Let's see if we can figure out if there's a wide difference. All right, I'm just going to guess that it's this way. That this side here is going to be the top and that side's going to be the bottom. Let's see a little bit of difference right there, more or less. It's offset to the bottom. And the only reason why I'm guessing that is because there's more room to the top. So we'll take this and just insert it into here, and you'll hear a click. All right, now this right here, you're gonna have to push that in. Okay, here we go. Push. All right, now that's gonna lock that down in place. Now the other side, if you look at it, the way the connector is shaped, it's more flat here on the bottom. It kind of tees up. And you can see in the front, it's got like an offset. I'm just gonna guess on this connector that we want this to the top. All right, not only that, when you look inside here, it's probably pretty hard. If you look inside here and you look to the top, you actually see the metal, which will be like right here in the middle of the plug. You can see the metal closer to the top. And like I said, if you look at this, see how it's longer up here and then it is down here. So you want to insert that into here. All right, there we go. Yep, right in place. And you're going to want to push that in. And that's going to lock them wires in place, all right? Now, up here is your clutch switch. Push the tab, unplug it, just like we did with the stuff out there. You want to plug one side into one and the other side into the other, just like this. I'm hoping you guys can see what we got going on here. Gets together. Okay. All right. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is feed this up through the bottom. Okay. All right, see that? Maybe you want it to come out here. I think I might try to run it up like I did the gauges over here. I'm just not liking how it's running here up through right here. Let's see if we can make this run a different way. Go this way. Does this work? Maybe we can go right there. Looks all right. There we go. We came out in behind here. Now I'm going to go out underneath the hood and I'm going to pull on the slack out of the harness because I did pull a little bit farther this way so it was easier to access. And then we'll be hooking up. We'll plug in the watt box and we'll give everything a try. Once we backfed the wires out through over there, it kind of shortened this up to be able to reach out over here far enough where I thought I could get to this, to do this. So I think I'm going to try to either maybe route the wire up over this top and down through here, or I'll just do something and stick it underneath for right now. But we did get everything together. Out here under the hood, our air intake, our strut bar, we have our battery mounted back down in where it needs to be. All of our wires are put back in. Everything is basically right now at a test point, so it's still up in the air. But let's see what happens when we cycle on the key. That should light up down there. Yep, and it does. Okay. Alright, so that did what it was supposed to do. All of our gauges are on. Alright. We'll have to reprogram our stereo. And what fun that will be. So, alright, now the watt box, like I said, this was the wiring that originally came with it. It has a programming cable, which I don't have a laptop as of right now. I only have a desktop, so it's kind of hard to do. Now, this comes with, these are the instructions that I printed off of their website for the SRT-4. I also did find the software for this. It does go through, and it actually, I mean, they show you some pretty good pictures for wiring this stuff in. I mean, they tell you to solder stuff, which is what should be done if you're actually wiring this in like that. Now, you can basically manually program this, and basically I think you hold the switch in. I didn't really read this as of just yet. It says it comes preset for a 2-step RPM of 4,000. To set the RPM, repeat the same procedure. Okay, it goes through here. I'll have to read over that. It has a little button, and that light will blink whether you're holding the clutch down or up once you turn the key on to set that stuff. They give you a nice little diagram here. Tells you what each switch is for, or each pin off of each plug, and then they give you the little warranty here. So what I need to do is I need to read this here, all right, and then basically try to set this so that I'll have to set it and then test it to see, you know, it said what was it, 4,000 RPMs. Okay, that's 11 blinks. This thing goes all the way up to 13,600 RPMs. That's pretty crazy. We know the motor won't rev that far. Okay. So we just got to figure out where we want to set this. Maybe I'll try Googling some stuff and seeing where some people actually have theirs set, and I'll get this set. I'm actually looking at getting a little laptop for programming that and the gauge, because the gauge, the fail-safe gauge here, has a little harness that you can plug in and program off of USB also. But this was basically just supposed to be the install to show you guys what to do on how to install the kinetic wiring plug and play harness. Like I said, you can look down in here. I mean, where is it? These two here I kind of tucked off to the side. I ran everything across the top of the back of the brake reservoir, so it's actually right down in there. You can barely see any of it. Everything fit in real nice. Like I said, I mean, this would have been a little nicer if there would have been maybe an inch or so here. Maybe I just don't have, maybe I can pull it down a little bit farther. Not quite sure. Like I said, I'm going to get this fit up inside here where I feel it's accessible and I can actually plug into it. I did look on their website. It does say you have to plug into that and you have to set it up. So I don't know. Let's see here once what this thing does. Let's plug this in. All right, and we'll turn the key on. All right, there you go. Lights up blue just like the box does. It's pretty cool. So we'll have to figure out where we want to locate that. I've seen, you know, little holes drilled right through here, and then a little bit of hot melt. You can put a little bit of hot melt on the back side of it. I might end up doing that right there and running it up and having it come right out here in the middle, which I think will be actually pretty cool looking. So we'll just have to see. But hopefully that helped. You know, if you want to have plans on getting the plug and play harness and the installation of it, it's just so much easier. I'd probably still be here trying to solder in all these wires and, you know, stripping stuff back and damaging my factory harness. I've pulled some of these out of cars already that were just poorly installed and had, you know, bad wire issues. So, all right, guys. I usually don't say it. If you made it this far, thanks. Could use some likes, some thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I mean, I do all kinds of stuff. So, you know, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought.